Great. Okay. Magnificent. So tonight, as I said, if we can just review the charter, it's probably getting there, but we need to refine a little bit in the light of the terms of reference. And everyone's had a good look at the terms of reference, I'm assuming, on what a subcommittee is there to do. But yeah, if we could go through this, I think that would be a good start. This is sort of a culmination of comments that I saw on the other one. And at the moment, the board are across this one, but they're looking for your approved version. So let's start at the top. The purpose of the committee is to provide a consultation and representation on matters relating to Adventure Guide needs and to be recognised as a profession. To have considerable influence on the development and direction of the outdoor sector and the profession of outdoor leadership. Subcommittee will also be the Adventure Guide Outdoor Leader reference point for other Outdoors New South Wales ACT subcommittees, i.e. Climate change, First Nation, incident response, etc. It will then refer actions to the Board of Directors for the strategic plan where required. Okay, so this is basically, and sorry, I don't know if you can see that, it's somehow gotten white overnight, but it said purpose. So how do we feel about that? What do we need to change to reflect where we want the committee to be? Or any other comment? Oops, sorry, my fault.
I just had a comment in the first sentence when it says, and to be recognised as a profession. The way that sentence reads, it's saying the Adventure Guide subcommittee to be recognised as a profession. Is that what we're saying? Or we're saying
No.
and to advocate for adventure guides to be recognised as a profession? Like, what is the profession part?
Yep.
The committee or the actual industry outdoor leadership?
The leaders in the field, the guides,
Yeah.
the adventure.
Yeah. Okay, that's better.
Just a few words.
Yeah.
Good pickup.
It's probably easy because I was outside of those meetings. So when I came in, I had really fresh eyes and I'm like, what are we trying to say here?
No, good pickup, Beck.
Do we want to be consistent with the language then if we're saying in the first sentence, adventure guides as a profession, and in the second one, profession of outdoor leadership? Or is that adventure guides are part of outdoor leadership?
Okay. Good question. Thoughts?
And I'm asking clarification probably because I sit slightly outside of maybe you guys are in this and get what that means. But because my space is like that nature play, they are outdoor leadership, they are adventure guides, but they're not like that's not language in our side of the industry or profession. So that's why I'm like.
So Beck, what is your terminology that you consistently use?
There's not consistency, so that's probably one challenge because we're only just starting to move into this space of amazing organizations like yourself that go, yes, we do fit in with you, whereas previously we're kind of bumped in maybe other spaces. Yeah, some of us might say that we're like definitely outdoor leadership.
I recall this conversation, Beck, early on about the naming of this subcommittee, and it just for the background, it stemmed from Dan, Hugh and Lauren had done a lot of work up in the Blue Mountains and were particularly interested in addressing issues relating to adventure guides in the Blue Mountains. And it morphed into this statewide thing. And I honestly can't recall why we went with the language of adventure guides. I do remember having the conversation about the training package using the language of outdoor leaders and those sorts of things. And I personally would like to see it be called that, but there was, I honestly can't remember what the reason was that we went with adventure guides early on, but I know that there was some history and reasoning for that.
I think, Dylan, that we were trying to be specific to like the roping style stuff. I think at the time it was like, we're not worried about hiking or canoeing or the other things. I think that was why we chose that language.
When you started the work, yeah. But now looking
Yeah.
at what we're trying to achieve, which is that conduit for all paid people on the ground, an access point. It's a really good point you raise, because I think I'd like to be more inclusive.
Why don't we, it's Adventure Guide Subcommittee. Why don't we,
Yeah.
with the advocate, and to advocate for all outdoor leaders to be recognised as a part of, so all outdoor leaders.
Or outdoor
yeah,
leadership to be recognised as a profession.
all outdoor
Yeah.
leadership, yeah.
That was my point, is that we're saying it's adventure guide profession in one sentence, and the next sentence it's a profession of outdoor leadership. So that's why I was saying, which is it? Or are they two separate?
Well, we're the Adventure Guide Subcommittee. I don't
Yes.
think there's I mean, to my mind, anyone that takes someone out in the outdoors can be classified as an adventure guide, yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
different
that's just,
to a museum guide.
yeah,
Yes.
that's right, yeah. I mean, an adventure doesn't have to be a roping adventure. It can be taking a group of kids into the park is an adventure. So you've got
Yeah.
an adventure guide, yeah, if you look at it that way.
Yeah.
But all outdoor leadership to be recognised as a profession, I like that.
Yeah, that looks good now. That looks consistent. That
Can
makes
I
sense.
ask Lauren if the what we've got there in the purpose said, the purpose of the outdoor leader subcommittee is to provide consultation and representation on matters relating to outdoor leader needs and to advocate for all outdoor leadership to be recognised as a profession. And then to continue through there, and the rest of it already has outdoor leader in there. I don't think that takes away at all from adventure guides in their needs. It just becomes a more what is it called, a more inclusive church, a broader church. That's what I'm looking for. And so people like Beck or others in other aspects of the training package that are captured by outdoor leadership are in there. And then potentially, if there is needs that are specific to adventure guides, those that work with ropes, those in the Blue Mountains, those that work on the snow, whatever it is, the more extreme ends of the spectrum could potentially be picked up by a subcommittee that, like that goes, we as the people inside the outdoor leadership subcommittee say that we have this specific interest in this area and would be happy to push on these areas, but we're not going to invest our energies elsewhere, but we're going to utilize the authority of the broader church to push our agenda. And I think that way you'd more likely get buy-in from more people to get more weight behind things, but also still be able to pursue your agenda. I can't see your face, Lauren, so I'm going to stop waffling so I can let you talk.
Yeah, that was the longest question anyone's ever asked me. That was like a 3-stage series.
Longer than Game of Thrones.
I think the language is fine, and that we can still meet the initial goals of what we wanted, and the merging with the new goals of this thing under that banner. I think it's fine.
Okay, Lauren's voting for Dan and Hugh.
Don't put that on me.
Okay, so can I just summarize that by saying we're happy to change it to outdoor leadership subcommittee? Is that what you're meaning?
Well, no, it has to be outdoor leader subcommittee. If you call it the outdoor leadership subcommittee, it'd be very confusing.
So as long as, and this is probably where it becomes sticky, is when we look at, okay, we've got an outdoor education subcommittee, right? We've got to be very specific, as you just said, Dylan, it's the leader, not leadership, because then it encompasses all the other subcommittees. So being very specific to the individual. Okay, so are we, Beck, how do you feel on that?
I'm fine with either there. It was just when you talked about a profession, you said there was an adventure guide profession and then an outdoor leadership profession. And so it was like, well, you were contradicting yourself in 2 sentences, but whatever the subcommittee, I do think outdoor leader is potentially more inclusive.
Yep. As you said, broader church.
And Dylan, I do actually like your point, you know, if further down the track, like you say, people that are doing extreme things want to then have a second subcommittee to work on those, I would consider the nature play industry as extreme, because whilst you might go, oh, the ropes is extreme, and maybe that's because of the high risk, but it's doing one thing. Our children do ropes, do zip lining, do tree climbing, like do all of those things that you guys are talking about, but with 1-year-olds, 3-year-olds, and 5-year-olds and 10-year-olds. So to me, I would say we would hit one of the most riskiest categories. Because we would fit into that. And if that's something you want to go into further down the track, it's probably what the nature play people would be interested in, and yes, potentially more buy-in because it's going to be specific to them.
Okay. Becca, just on that too, and I think I should make you aware, not that this hopefully will detract you from this subcommittee, because we definitely want you on here. The board has voted to approve a nature play subcommittee, and there's a reason behind that. So there's currently a group of people that have been meeting for New South Wales, and you're aware of this. Yep.
Oh yeah, for a long time. I've been talking to them forever.
Yep, fabulous. So just to let you know where that's up to, Amanda Lloyd had some significant conversations with Nature Play Australia, which owns Nature Play New South Wales, to get support for a grant, which was put out by the Department of Education. Nature Play Australia turned around and said, you're probably aware of this too, so apologies if you do, said, no, we won't support you in that grant application. We don't want to do anything on a national basis. The board has decided to concentrate on WA. That sort of undid everything that committee was working towards. I warned them in the very early stages that was a risk, regardless of timing, that when you don't own these sorts of things, you are at the whim of other people that own the IP and content. So much so we had a backup plan, and the backup plan is us. So to be that underwriter for that grant. So we were able to apply for that grant and do it under the auspice of Outdoors New South Wales, where we own Outdoor Play New South Wales. So if we are successful, that will instigate that Nature Play subcommittee to be formed to implement the activities that grant will provide. Yeah. Great. Okay. Fabulous.
Thank you.
No worries.
No, that won't remove me from this subcommittee unless you don't want me in here, because I just think in general this is a really valuable.
Yes, and it's very different. Because the other subcommittee is totally focused on driving Nature Play as a product, and something to get more buy-in by people outside the industry. This one is focused on the individual.
Yeah.
And those employed by.
Thank you.
Cool. Great. That might be good information for everyone. Sorry, I should have said that. I'm not just pinpointing back. Any questions on any of that?
I mean, we could put a down the bottom of this particular document the types of leaders that we believe are part of the industry. Ski instructors, but adventure leaders. So that people don't get left out, and anyone else that has a leadership role, an outdoor leadership role, and a duty of care in the outdoors.
Sorry, for some reason all of this has gone black.
Maybe chat, Dave.
Say again, mate.
Check out the chat.
Oh, your bloody blue shirt, you've already done it on so many levels. There we go. See, look, one he prepared earlier.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, well, Jesus was a carpenter. He wasn't an outdoor leader. Yeah.
All right. Awesome stuff. Sorry, where am I? Where am I going? Where have we been? There we are. Okay, so just on that note then, is everyone comfortable if we add that list that Dylan has there? as a bit of a reference.
No one's argued
Can
with me
we-
on that one yet, for the record. And Beck, I'd be delighted if you did.
Yeah.
Can we please add nature play businesses?
Yeah.
I think it's at the second dot point.
No, that's education institutions and RTOs. And the first
then
dot.
and it specifically says, e.g., the nature school, wild ground.
Oh, the first one.
Sorry, the first
Yeah.
one, my bad.
Yeah. It's because it says the word schools in it. So I would find a lot of the nature play business would
Preschool. Take care.
that doesn't, yeah. So a lot of them are private nature play businesses. There is far more playgroup in New South Wales. You have tons of playgroups because they can't legally do like bush kindy unless it's part of an early childhood service.
So can I just ask the question, would they call themselves leisure, education, or something else?
It'd be education preschool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, the education doesn't, that only says TAFE, higher education, research and teacher training. So no, they would be, I would say they would, every one of those people would say they fit in the top point, but then if you read on, they would like nature play businesses or nature play programs, or the correct term is like nature immersion.
Yeah, I was
program.
gonna say, is this kind of partly under the banner of bush adventure therapy as well?
No, that's later.
Not necessarily,
Mm.
because usually we would say if you are offering, whilst it's therapeutic, but if you're offering bush therapy, then we would suggest that there's somebody that's qualified in nature
Correct.
therapy.
Yeah.
Other than, you know, it's not just a byproduct of
With-
a nature
yeah.
play. So yeah, and nature immersion programs would cover it, all of them, all of those ones that I'm talking about that's currently not.
With
Because
nature
they're
therapy,
predominantly playgroup or in an early childhood service in New South Wales, and those two categories aren't listed there.
Should we put the stare under above, you know, who is an outdoor leader, and just say, yeah, staff in leadership roles in these areas, something like that, yeah?
Yep.
Because not the organisations that are leaders, it's the staff that work in leadership roles in those
Yeah.
various areas.
Yep.
So Beck, if you refresh your screen now on the link that I sent through, I've updated nature play and nature immersion. Can you check out the wording in that first line and see if I've got it right on the website as I suggested? What you've got there is
Yes.
correct, Laurie.
Yeah,
That's
nature
right.
immersion programs.
Ah, right. Okay, so
Yep.
you still want it under the heading of education? I didn't think
Yeah, I
that.
think that's fine. Because
that's
yeah,
right.
we'd
Well,
all
the
sit under there as curricular and extracurricular, and we sit along
Yeah.
all the rest of those. But
Okay.
it's just most would object to being called a bush school. And if we think
Yeah,
a
that's
lot
great.
of our programs are creek kindies, Riverside, they're not bush. They're in like Centennial Park in Sydney. They don't
Yes,
they don't
yes.
call themselves a bush school because it's
And
not
that's
bush.
the outdoors, yeah? I mean, yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yep. Good.
Thank
and
you.
that's okay. No, it's been great.
Mm.
The split there, just so you know, Laurie, between education and education
Yep.
is one is about the institutions that train the outdoor leaders,
Yep.
and one is about the providers who provide to the public. That's how
Yeah.
I've split it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
would you continue that by saying adult education or not?
Not always, because you've got certificate 2, for example, which goes through the RTOs.
Okay, gotcha.
And you've also got some of that nature play stuff is for adults. So it's not adult education. It's Anyway, that's the reason education's there twice.
Yep.
Mm.
If we're happy with that breakup, I have no issue. Cool.
And that's an amazing list. Well done.
Yes, very much so. Just on the nature therapy aspect, one thing that I've got a university person working on this at the moment, but it's certainly defined, and Lauren, your comment, it's normally only offered when there's been an identified issue with the person. So this, although there is therapeutic outcomes, where nature therapy is engaged, is when there's been an identified issue with the participant. That sort of tries to cut the definition, if you like.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I get confused about the crossover between bush adventure therapy and then rewilding.
Yeah.
Because they're the same but different, or can use each other.
Exactly. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about the outdoor health? Should that's sort of that new area that's being used, which or outdoor health also implies getting outdoors before you have a problem, to avoid having one.
Dot point number 6.
But the actual words outdoor health are what the association's going to be changing over to as time goes on.
And this is where the interesting barrier on that organisation is, because if it is truly adventure therapy, then it goes to that earlier definition I was just talking about. But if it is, just about health and lifestyle improvement, then it crosses over into that as well. But yeah, I think for the sake of this, what we're trying to say is where the outdoor people are. So I think that covers it from my perspective, but happy to take other comment.
Well, look, that's a good start. I mean, we're saying that there's lots of different areas that that outdoor leader, that people work as outdoor leaders. Yeah, that's really all it is.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it's great adding that in the top, because anyone that's like, oh, am I in the outdoor leadership? Am I part of Adventure Guides or not? That clarifies it straight up, which makes everybody feel inclusive. Like, oh yeah, this is for me. And it's very broad. So I think that's a really good part to put in there.
And Beck, just so you know, I don't know whether you saw, but we normally have a charter, and then we have pretty much like a strategic intent document, which is what we circulate to the industry. So this is sort of the internal, so we can pick that content out and put that into that in strategic intent document. If I show you one of the, sorry, let me just get one of the other ones up. Goodness. Sorry. Any other thoughts while I look for this other document for you? I'll just do the climate change one as a great example.
The other thought I have, Laurie, is I on that link that I shared, I actually explicitly exclude four-wheel driving and dirt bike riding.
Yeah, okay.
And that I whilst I appreciate that they are in the outdoor recreation sector, I think about the active recreation sector, and I see both four-wheel driving and dirt biking as passive activities.
Yeah, and they likewise, they can't apply for active recreation grants in the Office of Sport because of that nature.
Yeah, I mean, Casro's got it in their name.
Yeah. Here it is here, guys. So this is the climate change strategic intent. So you expect something like this for the group once we've finalised this and got board approval, is to talk about what our vision is, what our mission is, what's our strategic intent, and any values that we might have. So instead of the snapshot, this could actually be the view of who's in as an outdoor leader, which is from that list. I think that'd be quite nice.
It'd be great if you had the data for an outdoor leader snapshot.
Oh, that's our next goal, Dylan. That's our next goal.
I have a question, like for my personal knowledge.
Yeah.
This climate change strategy that was just up.
Yep.
Is that a public document?
Yeah, it's on the website. Yep. So this is what we would put out to the public. The strategic intent
cool.
is to say this subcommittee exists because of these reasons, and this is how we can help you if you're interested.
I have to do a uni assignment. So I'm gonna use this. This is perfect.
Oh, perfect. Okay, great. It's on the website under the subcommittees as a link.
Yeah, great.
Cool. Glad I could help.
Yeah. Well, that was like half of what I wanted to ask was about this assignment was asking me in my industry to find some kind of strategic planning document. And I was just like, does that even exist? I don't know anything outside of the AAAS.
Not that we want to give you all your assignment answers now, but let me quickly show you a few documents. So jump to our website, go into About Us, and once you've had the Welcome to Country, and sorry I didn't make it sound like that, but it's just annoying when you keep going into your website. Go into Industry Resources, and actually as a member, you've got access to the membership portal, which has a whole lot more, which you can enter through here.
Yeah, I need to talk to Andy because I have like 5 different employers who I probably could get access through, and I just don't know any of the details.
Yeah, cool. All of the, like literally because you're on the subcommittee, you're in the database, so I can assign you, so that won't be a problem.
Thank you.
So that's, so then you've got everything from research and content, but where am I? Oh no, it's under the organization. Sorry, guys. Yes, under the governance, you've got strategic plan here.
Yeah.
Key documents, so annual reports as you need.
Yeah.
And then when you get your access, when you get your access, you're going to have access to this here.
Cool.
Which is not going to look like this because I'm in the back end of it, but I'll show you what it's going to look like when I get into it. Come on. Right, so if none of you have gone in and seen this, this is what you've all got access to. Have a look at all this.
Cool.
Okay, so all strategies, tools, documents, government documents as well, strategic partners, yep. And this is what we're building at the moment for you. So the subcommittee content will be ready very soon. So you'll only be able to go into the back end and you'll be able to see everything for the subcommittee that you need.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There's also
Thank you.
the Outdoor Council of Australia summit a couple of years back. It'd be worth putting in your references because that was primarily a strategic initiative. Yeah.
That's this one here. Resources, and there's a whole heap of, there's our vision for positive cycle of the outdoor sector. Activity tools. I don't know whether, there's that one, yeah. Yeah, so there's a few things there for you anyway.
Yeah.
And there's some blog articles. All right, sorry, we digress, but yes, important information for everyone to know. Okay. Lovely, good luck, Lauren. With
Thank you.
Okay, so sorry, let's go back. So purpose-wise, the purpose of the Outdoor Leader Subcommittee, now we're going to change our name. Sorry, we should do that straight away. And I'll fix all the headers and footers later. Is to provide consultation representation on matters related to outdoor leader needs and to advocate for all outdoor leadership to be recognised as a profession. To have considerable influence on the development and direction of the outdoor sector and the profession of outdoor leadership. Is that duplicating or are we stating the obvious? I don't know.
No, I think that's still worth saying. Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Okay, everyone else agree? Subcommittee will also be the outdoor leadership reference point, leader reference point for other committees. This was a point that we all were very clear about last time, because
Yep.
we did not want duplication, and anything that related to the actual staff or leaders in the industry needed that consultation. We will then refer the actions back to the board of directors as per all of the subcommittees. Okay, so then if we go into the goals and objectives, I think this needs a bit of work, if I can say up front. For me, it's a bit fluffy at the moment, and yeah, certainly need to get some more solid outcome.
When you say it's a bit waffly, do you mean you want like some concrete next 5-year goals, or
I think it'd definitely be good to have something that's measurable, but more than that, you know, I mean, this could take 10 years. So how do we, in 1 year's time, go, we've done well, we've done our job, and trying to frame it around, you know, we could say definitely that we want to create frameworks and standards, but yeah, probably putting it more into tangible assets.
Well, the code of ethics is something that would be easier to do. Yeah. So perhaps starting with the code of ethics to be completed by a date this year. Mhm.
Can you separate a portion of that sentence that notes about pay and conditions and WHS into a separate point? So then at the end of the year, you go, yes, we've achieved 1 and 2, 3 is an ongoing project, kind of like
Yep.
if it's separated in some way.
Yep, it's a good point. Okay. So we still want to create and support best practice frameworks and standards, ethical and practical, that are adopted by members, valued by industry, acknowledged by regulators, and recognized by customers. To me, that's a lot. That's like World War Peace.
Is
Yeah.
that like, is there like almost 4 components there? Because having members adopt is one thing, which then would include valuing by industry, but then acknowledgement by regulators is a whole nother step and a whole nother project to me. Like that's working at a totally different level. And then recognized by customers, that's about community awareness and communication aspects. So again, that's another component. I mean, I don't want to make the list long, but if you're wanting to break it down in achievable things, they are different. The way you would work on each of those components is quite different.
I would be happy to drop recognized by customers.
Yeah.
Would we not just reword that as like educate employers and employees on how to actually put that stuff into practice?
Yeah, so it could be in that number 2, like an educate community. Because when you've got these frameworks that like the members are doing it, the industry's doing it, and it's educating community.
Which community are you talking about, Beck?
Well, any community then is encompassing of any customer that uses it.
Oh, okay. So not the community of outdoor practitioners, not the community of the outdoor industry.
Is it
The
more
wider
stakeholders?
educate? So we should write educate wider community.
Yeah, or stakeholders, or
again, I don't know that. I don't know that the goals and objectives of the Adventure Guide Outdoor Leader Subcommittee are to educate the wider community.
That's a good point. Is that the responsibility of the overall board or the overall?
Yeah.
So
that would probably fall under our normal remit of promoting the industry as Outdoors New South Wales and ACT. If we've got the tools, we'll be using them.
What
think
about what about to support Outdoors New South Wales ACT in educating the wider community? Yeah.
Well, that already happens up in purpose above, and again, I
that's it.
think that if
Yeah.
like
Okay.
if I am if we're doing a good job of educating the industry, then the wider community piece will happen on its own. And I think Lauren, Hugh, and Dan would agree that the problems broadly faced by outdoor leaders are not problems with the community at the moment. They're
No.
problems with the industry, the regulators, the other stakeholders. So I did like the word stakeholders.
Yeah. Yes. I think that is accurate.
In conjunction with, do I need to say in conjunction with Outdoors New South Wales ACT regular activities? Is that just a given? Do we
Yep.
ignore that?
Again, it's written up in the purpose above.
It is. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so create.
Now my question is, what's different between number 2 and 3? If number 3 said create, support, and educate on best practice frameworks and standards, then that to me,
well, I see this as the creation and yeah, I see what you mean. Do we remove support? This is about creating, whether it's existing and refined or creating from scratch, and this is about ensuring that they are used. Like as Beck said, you know, we've done 1, now we're on to number 2 sort of thing.
And I guess this subcommittee goals and objectives aren't just like, it's our overall goals and objectives, what you would hope for the next 5. I mean, they might be reviewed, but it's not like a strategy of what are we doing for the next year or 2. It is like overall goals, long-term goals.
What did that educate stakeholders on the implementation of? Because I mean, one of the things that isn't happening with the adventure activity stands, for instance, is implementation. Yeah. So, and we as leaders can help in that because we're the people in the field saying, "Boy, yeah."
Yeah.
I don't want to set up an answer to this, but are we biting off more than we can chew?
I just think one of the key things that was an issue for Dan, Hugh, and Lauren was that outdoor leaders weren't being educated, consulted rather, about things that national parks were doing that impacted them, as distinct from impacting their employers.
Yeah.
And so whilst point 2 talks about members and industry, that there has to be some bit of this that talks about having a voice to other stakeholders to address that gap.
Which is
and so whether it's that sentence or not is neither here nor there, but there has to be a bit that says it could be engage with stakeholders on
yeah.
I mean,
right.
if stepping aside from the realism for a minute, I'm like, right, the fantasy is that a person gets trained in outdoor leadership and comes into the industry with the most amazing conditions, pay, support, just environment, no matter what employer that they are working for. Like that to me is what would be the best case scenario. So how what can we do to help get there, even if it's not achievable? Like, what are the things we can do for that to happen? Is that a fair statement?
Question for you, Lauren. Are you thinking of an industry that does that well?
Sorry?
Have you got an idea of an industry that does that well? Have we got a benchmark we're working towards?
I am a hippie who has always worked in cowboy industries.
Anyone else?
Strangely, I think that probably where outdoor leaders are respected at all levels is defence.
Do they have the support that Lauren's talking about? Do they like?
So my sister is a human resource leader for Ernst & Young.
Right.
And I talked to her about her work, and that is a professional industry. Like, completely unrelated to us, the amount, and I mean, they've got so much money and whatever, but
is it profession based on the finance aspect of Ernst & Young, or is it the profession of the HR?
Oh,
because you got to think about, if we're talking about success of what we're trying to achieve, and what success looks like from, I'm going to put words in your mouth here and correct me if I'm wrong, is that we want outdoor leaders to be respected, appreciated, trained, provided the resources that can leverage their career going forward. What I'm trying to work out is
in a consistent manner across the industry. I mean, at the moment, pay and conditions are all over the place. We need that consistency across the whole national industry of all of this.
So
Lauren, the two examples. Sorry.
Great. All right.
Lauren, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just going to say I didn't hear the end of what Laurie said.
So I'll jump ahead because I did, and I'll say the answer that I've got. So the two examples I've got, I do not have a single one that addresses all those issues, because everywhere else in industries, they're addressing the problems that are relevant to their industry. So, for example, accounting professional associations don't typically argue for pay and conditions because there is a consistent award that addresses their needs. So that's not a problem. So they focus on all these other things. So if we wanted to find another one that's got a problem with pay and conditions, we can go to a retail professional association perhaps, or Coles or something like that. But when I think about the rest of the complaints that the rest of the industry has, then I think the IFMGA is not a bad example for everything except pay and conditions. And the main reason for that is because it's an international body going across borders. But the IFMGA absolutely is engaged when it comes to questions about incidents at altitude, or engaging with land managers about what should or shouldn't be approved, and having incredible standards, training standards, input to training, like this. Apart from pay and conditions, I think the IFMGA actually ticks a lot of boxes for what this committee gives a crap about. There's a lot of reasons why I don't think it'll work, but it's not about aspirational.
But and I think that helps. It's just, I always ask that question because I think if people can picture what success looks like, it makes it a lot easier to then path where we can.
Again, I think there's a lot of reasons why it wouldn't work, but it's not a bad benchmark.
Any other industries that people might think of that have got these sorts of systems and processes in place?
I feel like the legal profession has a lot, but they're facing very different issues.
Yeah, funny that.
But again, they're, like Lauren, as an example, the legal profession, they are people who, as a group, and the medical profession, both of those will get consulted by the government to say, what do we think about this issue? There is not a single government agency that's asking the actual outdoor leaders what they think about issues.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, the government's not asking anyone in the outdoor industry what they think, but that's another problem altogether.
Mm. Yet ironically, in tourism, that's more done.
It is.
Mm.
But we're the poor cousin of tourism.
Ah.
And only a subset of our industry is in tourism, and the rest is in health and education and social and community and
sport.
and we're back to ANSCO codes. Can't wait for that email.
Oh my God. I want that day, but I'm dreading that day. Can I tell you?
Yeah, I know.
Um, just doing the labour agreement, we've worked out there's 21 codes that should be included. Anyway, we won't go there tonight. Okay, all right. So no, that's any other ones we want to put in there? Okay. All right. Let's go.
So for just the background, that outdoor leaders website, Laurie, I did heaps of research into professional associations at the time I built that. And so if I went back, I could probably find a few more, but at the moment I don't have any that come to mind.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's fine. Thank you. All right. So going back to the goals and objectives, and I think if we get this part done tonight, I think we're in a better space because the rest sort of tends to roll on. I think our values will very clear about, thanks to the discussion Dylan started last time. The execution doesn't really vary based on subcommittee to subcommittee. The organisation is pretty consistent, but please have a look at it. The outputs we're really clear at the moment on that resource. So I put words in your mouth because we didn't get to that last time, but it was about providing resources in information in training, employment conditions, terms, pathways, industry challenges, data collection opportunities, collaboration, and information for advocacy. That's our biggest gap at the moment, as highlighted by Dylan at the early stage of this meeting, where we just don't know the numbers. So that has to be one of the priorities that we lead with to help support any advocacy work. Please jump in if I'm saying anything that you don't agree with.
If you get funding, I'll do some of that work for you.
Yes, exactly. We definitely need funding to do that work. Okay, so going back to the goals and objectives then, we're the conduit between the outdoor leaders and the peak body for leaders to have a voice on issues that matter to them and for the peak body to engage with outdoor leaders. That was the first thing we wanted to make sure we had. So now we've gone to create and support best practice frameworks and standards, ethical and practical, that are adopted by members and valued by industry.
I just go back to, sorry.
You're right. You're right.
Dot point 1 sub dot point 2.
Yes.
Be the conduit between the outdoor leaders and the peak body. Yes.
Yep.
For leaders to have a voice on issues that matter to them. Yes. And for the peak body to engage with outdoor leaders about stuff that comes to the peak body. I don't just want to talk to the peak body. I want to talk to the peak body about the national parks coming to the peak body. So it's about for the outdoor leaders to engage with.
Is it current issues?
Thank you. You should jump in more often, Beck, so I don't waffle half an hour.
That current issues that matter to leaders. Is that what we're saying?
About current issues that are present to the peak body.
So for the peak body to engage with outdoor leaders about current issues.
Presented to, is that what you're saying? Or just current issues of significance?
I feel like, is this a flow chart cycle where the 2 points are
Interchanging.
Yeah.
I feel like just for the peak body to engage with outdoor leaders about current issues might be enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we know that this is about, And I think that comes from the purpose. Anything that relates to this should go to this group.
Yes. Great.
Mm. Okay.
Dot point 2, sorry, what were we up to?
Yep. So create and support best practice frameworks and standards that are adopted by members and valued by industry. We called that out as its own dot point. We then said engage stakeholders on the implementation of the best practice frameworks and standards as per above, basically.
And I think
With-
that actually sits back up at point 1, like that be the conduit.
Yep.
But I think that Dan, Hugh, and Lauren would say, well, the peak body isn't engaging with outdoor leaders adequately, so we want to go direct to those land managers, etc.
Mhm.
So there's a question for you, Lauren, about where that sits.
Sorry, I wasn't listening.
I'll try and say it really briefly that it's my opinion that the national parks should come to Outdoors New South Wales and say, we're thinking about changing the Eco Pass. And
Yes.
then via dot point 1, National New South Wales, Outdoors New South Wales will come to the Outdoor Leader Committee and say, hey, National Parks wants to do this thing. What do
Yeah.
you reckon? And so they'll have a
Yeah.
voice at the table via that. But currently, dot point 3 says that the Outdoor Leader Committee will engage with the land managers directly. And it's my personal opinion that that should be removed, but I know that you, Dan, and Hugh might feel differently.
I mean, that's one example about land managers, but then is it the same if we're talking about something like,
Pay conditions.
yeah.
But again, I don't know, it's the subcommittee that has the voice to the Fair Work Commissioner. It's Outdoors New South Wales via the subcommittee that has the voice to the commissioner.
So say, for example, if we went out and said that, you know, the average day rate for an adventure guide doing roping or kayaking should be $400 a day.
Which is a legal day rate. You can only talk about the hourly rate.
So whatever it is, would that be something that this committee would want to do, is my question.
We would want to have an opinion on it, but I don't know that we go to the commissioner directly. We go to Outdoors New South Wales and let them do the talking.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
Agree.
So I think the only thing that this would come up against that's indifferent to the above is when documents that are outside of us, well, actually, no, even then it'd come through Outdoors New South Wales.
Yeah.
So I agree.
And can I say, like, creating best practice frameworks and standards is one thing, but supporting them, to support them is actually like engaging stakeholders on the implementation. So we're almost doubling up. Like if you're using the word support, to support those frameworks and standards, we're having those conversations with stakeholders to say how they implemented. So
with 2, I'd also think that in general, we would be supporting best practice frameworks and when necessary creating, but normally we'd be supporting the stuff that exists rather than, so I think you'd have the support first and create if we wanted as an add-on.
I'm
Can
going
I
to disagree with
suggest-
you there, Dave. I think there's heaps of gaps.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
yeah, there's none that relate to nature play. So
okay, yeah.
no, only the ones I've written myself that we haven't done anything with because no one wants to adopt them.
Okay, so on that basis, Beck, do we need to change that, or does that support what you're thinking?
Yeah, it's creating them, and then it's also supporting to that implementation.
Yeah.
I think we can get rid of the or create and support.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Great.
makes it easier. Yeah. Good. All right. So we don't need to call this out because I'm sure that there's
No.
going to be things that come up which will be part of that. Do we agree?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, this is becoming a little bit clearer. And the last two, provide consultation and representation on matters relating to training, employment, safety, and individual leader interest areas. This is where it gets a little bit, whoa, right. Are we on the right track? Do this by being open and accessible subcommittee. That comes down to the values below. So as we've said down here, it's about professionalism, being open, fairness, sustainable in our values down here. So I'd like to take that part out, would be my suggestion. But again,
Could you cut and paste it down below so that if we haven't adequately captured it below, we can insert it in one of those values?
great idea.
Because I don't, I agree with what it says, but I'm not sure that it is captured below.
Okay, good. All right.
So would we actually be involved in individual leader interest areas, or would be more like, across broader issues?
Well, you
Yeah,
asked
that
that,
was-
Dave. Can I ask a question one level up, which is, it says provide consultation and representation on matters. Who is the consultation and representation to and for?
Yeah.
So are we consulting and representing to employers or to outdoor leaders or to land managers?
I think we're consulting and representing to Outdoors New South Wales, yeah?
Then that whole dot points, what's it called when you say something more than once and it's redundant?
Redundant.
And a
Yeah.
syllogism.
We're
I
already
don't know.
saying,
Pick another
yeah.
word.
Because we are the conduit between outdoor leaders and the peak body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last one, to provide the necessary information for the peak body to be the advocate to media stakeholders on outdoor. We haven't got employers there on outdoor leader needs and issues.
Feel like to provide the necessary information for the peak body to be the advocate for outdoor leaders.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
On issues that are important to them.
Which we've already said above.
Yeah. Does
On
it
key
need
issues, yeah.
more? Is it not
Mm.
complete as it is?
Can you go back to
And-
what it said before we press delete, please, Laurie?
Yeah, because now it says provide necessary information. Who are we providing that information to now that other part's missing? So if we remove that out, it just says provide necessary information for the
Yeah.
peak body to be advocate. Oof. It just like
For
we're
outdoor
providing
leaders.
necessary information to who?
Yeah, to like employers and industry. No, so leaving that bit there, Laurie. So
So to
saying
providing information to
Yeah.
stakeholders, is it? No, it's not right there. Sorry, I said that, but it's not right there. We can remove the word necessary, like that seems unnecessary to add that in.
provide
Unnecessary,
information to the peak body so that this is the long form version, Laurie, it'll need some wordsmithing, but provide information to the peak body so that they can be the advocate for outdoor leaders in conversations with employers and stakeholders.
So we're saying that we're going to provide the information to Outdoors, New South Wales and ACT for them to be the advocate to outdoor leaders. For
Yeah.
outdoor leaders. Yeah.
For outdoor leaders.
Yeah. So we're providing the information.
Yeah.
Correct.
So in the wording could be to the peak body in order to be the advocate. Just so we don't have them.
Do we need
Now
the
remove
conversation?
the third word in that sentence.
Third word, to provide information.
Provide information. Employers and stakeholders.
Are employers not just part of the stakeholders? Can we not just write with all the stakeholders? Because why are we listing employers if we're not listing media and other people?
Mhm.
That kind of covers everybody involved.
All industry stakeholders.
Yeah.
Can you
Do
scroll up
just
to the purpose again, please?
Yep,
Just
sure.
a quick check. I just wanted to push back on that removal of the word employers.
Mhm.
What if it said to provide information to the peak body in order to be the advocate for outdoor leaders in conversations with employers and all other stakeholders? Because
Yep.
I'd hate to see the goals and objectives be reduced to not looking at the employers and
Mm.
looking towards just national park or just, other
Yep.
stakeholders.
Yep.
Mm.
No, that makes sense.
And sorry, Laurie, it was just and all other industry
That's right.
stakeholders.
Mhm.
Just the wording on it. Should it say to provide information on outdoor leader needs and issues to the peak body in order to be the advocate for outdoor leaders in conversations with employers and all other industry stakeholders? It's just tying what the information is to that last bit rather than.
Okay, I should get you to write some copy for my business, Beck.
She's also good with grammar. Right information on outdoor leader needs. And
Well, I
issues.
just had an interesting perspective because I think I came in fresh eyes and I read it and I was just like, I'm confused what we're really doing here. So I'd written little notes and highlighted and done little bits.
Hence
I
the
thought it was just because I was
discussion,
out of the
isn't
thing. So I'm just coming fresh eyes. That's all. You guys have already done all the hard work.
it?
Can I then add to provide information on outdoor leader needs and issues to the peak body in order for the peak body to be, so
Mhm.
in order for them to be, so that they can, and issues to the peak body so that they can advocate for outdoor leaders. There's a few different ways of saying that, but
Yeah.
Mm.
yeah, in order for the peak body
Yes.
is clumsy, it should be so that they can.
So that they can, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. I think we're clear on what we're doing. Okay, that's great. Now
Now, the
the
only thing I'm going to say, sorry, I'm going to
All
say
right.
is now that dot point 1 part 1 is the same as dot point 3.
yeah. Do we? Mm.
Well, one is for leaders to have a voice, and number 3 is provide information for us, the subcommittee, to give information. But that one is being a conduit. That's us listening to those leaders, so they've got a voice.
Mm.
I see number 1 as us listening to people that have issues, and number 3 is then collating all of that information and passing it on to Outdoors New South Wales and ACT.
Yeah, and I also
Or have I
see
got it wrong?
Yeah, as it was also that reciprocal.
Oh,
right,
that
I
part.
had this across my desk. What do you think? Is it an issue or not?
Mm.
Whereas I think this is right. Here's a collation of issue. We need response to this, or we need action on this. Mm.
Very happy to say it twice. That's
Yeah,
even if I
better
read
than
it
not saying it
differently.
at all. Okay.
Yeah. The other
Cool.
thing about leaders having a voice implies that when a group or some issue comes up, we need people that outdoor leaders should be involved in those groups. Yeah, in other words, we're not going out and coming to the committee. We're actually actively ensuring that if it's a writing team of some description, that there is someone representing the leaders involved in that from the very start.
Mm.
I'm sorry, Laurie, I've just dot point 2 is very broad.
Yep.
Like it's almost implying that we're developing the AAAS.
Yeah.
Well, we did. Yeah.
Outdoor, it's implying that
Leaders don't
outdoor
have their
leaders
own.
are doing that.
Mm.
That again, it's something like a clarifier that says on issues that are relevant to outdoor leaders. Maybe that's the thing at the top, the goals and objectives. There should be a sentence before dot point 1
Yep.
that says on issues that are of importance to outdoor leaders. And then go in that are of importance or of relevance or something.
Do everyone agree? I think that.
Just
Yes,
the word
but
of.
are importance to.
Yep.
Of importance to.
Oh. That's late. It's been a long day.
It has been.
I should clarify for the recording. It's only my first glass.
Mm.
How much
And
did
I'm
you
just
drink
wondering,
on
is
that?
it importance or significance?
Significance.
Oh, that are of significant importance.
I think
No, one or
get
the
rid of
other.
No.
importance and replace it with significance.
Yeah.
Significance, yeah.
So, yes. So on issues that are of significance to outdoor leaders, be the conduit between the outdoor leaders and the peak body.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get rid of
Get rid of that. Or no.
on it. Yes, it says on issues that matter to them, and so it's like we're saying that again.
Oh, okay. It's all significant.
Mm.
So
Let's have a
but if you get rid
voice.
of on issues that matter to them,
And then
and that just say for the outdoor leaders to have a voice and for the peak body to engage. Yes, nice.
hold on, I've stuffed up my thing here. There we go. Yeah. That's better. Like it. Do we want to refine the best practice frameworks and standards, or do we feel that that's just going to change as issues change?
I don't want to change that one, but I want to change number 3 to provide information to the peak body,
Mm-hmm.
because, and then get rid of on outdoor leader needs and issues to the peak body, because that's what the first sentence says.
Yeah, that's starting to look good.
Awesome. Okay. How do people feel? Are they exhausted? Do we want to just put this in the?
Can you scroll up so I can take a screenshot and reflect on it later?
Mm-hmm. It's in
Got
the.
it, thank you.
It's in the Google Drive as well.
That'll take me half an hour to find. I got it now.
Mm-hmm. So if everyone's got the link, I haven't got a board meeting until first week of June to get this ratified. So we've got time, but I think for the sake of trying to get the strategic intent document, it's important to have both go to the board meeting at the same time. So I had one quick question. I can play with the approach if everyone's happy for me to include what we say, open and accessible.
Yep.
Into the values. But I have one really important question, and I would like to ask. Hold on, let me stop sharing and I'll find what I had for the vision and mission, because that's probably a good place to start. How do you turn your computer off dark mode and put it on light? Oh, it's killing me. Okay.
You on Windows 10 or 11?
Oh, I just upgraded and automatically it went at 6 o'clock. It just went dark. I'm like, no. I have no idea. It's not Windows, it's Apple.
Oh,
In your settings somewhere.
Yeah, I've got to
Just
spend time
search.
looking at it.
Just go night mode in search and it'll just come to the right spot.
Oh, that's, yeah, even probably YouTube will tell me when.
Or even just on your Mac on Finder, just go night mode. and it'll
Ah,
just take you straight to that setting.
awesome. Thanks, Ben. Okay, so let me go. Where is it? Oh, you guys. Oh. Okay, I can't find it. Anyway, let's start. I think the vision was to ensure that I actually had something about the reputation of outdoor leaders. And then the mission was to provide the tools and resources and the advocacy to make that happen. That was the gist of it. I'd love your thoughts on what it should actually be to put into the strategic. Do you want me to bring up the strategic intent again to give you a bit of an idea of what the others had?
Yes. Please.
So there's your climate change one. So you can see the vision was to empower, to provide proactive leadership on climate change action within local context. But the mission was to build resources for the industry on matters that related to climate change mitigation and adaptation. So similarly, we're striving for that recognition. I saw that from only from the conversations we've had to date. We haven't discussed vision and mission, but the strategic intent comes down to those three things we just said in our goals and objectives. We start writing it. I'm just writing stuff, guys. Please change it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna chuck something in the chat, Laurie. I mean, I've already been dumping stuff there in the last couple of links, but
Yeah. It's a start. It's not it. But I just want to get something on paper or on screen. Everyone knows the difference between vision and mission, yeah? So
vision is the way you think the world should be, and mission's how you're going to get there.
that's it. So the top one, Dylan, is the vision.
It was kind of my tagline for that thing that I built to say this is what we're about as a professional association.
Yep.
So I'm not really saying it's necessarily a vision or a mission, rather the
You know
waffly
what? It
direction.
doesn't copy and paste from the chat.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Can you send it to me on email?
Yeah, definitely. It's in the two links that I've sent you there above.
Oh, okay. Oh, if it's in the links, okay.
one's on, sorry, it's on the homepage, the first one. At the very top there, a diverse community of engaged professionals is that one. And Beck, I don't know if you saw the background for this, but a couple of years ago, I got frustrated with outdoor leaders being blamed for things in industry and went, no, we're professionals. You guys need to get your shit together. It's not the leaders that are the problem. And
Yeah.
that's what that website is that I keep linking to.
Yeah, great.
Okay, so then
And then it's, yeah, either concerns and interests or vision, mission, and goals. And I think concerns and interests are like the almost strategic intent overlapped with values. If you go back up to the oh no, concerns and interests, sorry, yes. It saying things like the things that we care about are the quality of the training, the cost of training, the opportunities for training, how good our employment is, how good our career is, how good we feel like we're part of a community, and the fact that it's not our problem. Like we are trying to get our shit together, but the rest of the world is getting in our way.
I mean, this is stuff that those categories you've got there is stuff that we're going to be dealing with on all levels.
Yeah.
The only one that for me is not in there is the Dan's thing about engaging with land managers, really. It's hinted at in a few places, but it's not.
I would have seen it as policy.
Oh yeah, okay. Those six headings there are the big ones that I sort of over the years went, these are it. But sorry, Lauren, I cut you off there.
Oh yeah, so this kind of ties into what I was trying to find words to say at the beginning of the session. And as we worked on what our goals actually are, I was like, okay, I understand a bit more now. I am very concerned about gender inequality in the industry. And I know a lot of other people are as well. And I just wanted to highlight that is a thing.
You'll notice that the website that was written by a bloke that's on the screen at the moment makes no mention of that.
Yeah. I think, well, you've mentioned vulnerable workers and, it potentially comes under that. But yeah.
That's exactly, I think it comes a bit under here, a bit under here, a bit under, are we limiting gender by the training that we're offering? So, it's a bit like climate change. It should be in everything.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Speaking as a woman. But yeah, I think it's a valid point that, Lauren, that'll be a really good, what's the word I'm looking for? You become a bit of a meter for us on that topic, making sure we've always got that lens.
Yeah.
I mean, there'll be a whole range of issues that are across all the community and industries that will be applicable to our leaders. But then there'll be some stuff that's really specific to our industry. Every industry has that. Yeah. Majority of issues are the same across everything. Yeah. Pay conditions. Yeah. Whatever. And I think the gender and cultural equality fits into everybody's issues across society.
So on that basis,
but we've got diverse there, so yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I'm actually thinking that should be our vision.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everyone agree?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Now mission-wise.
No.
No, tough. You wrote it.
No, because all that says is that we're trying to make life better for everyone else. That doesn't say anything about making life better for us.
Diverse community of engaged professionals collaboratively seeking to improve the outdoor sector.
That there is roughly the mission of Outdoors New South Wales, not the subcommittee that's looking after outdoor leaders.
Yeah, agree.
Okay,
It's
right.
just missing that little component.
To improve the conditions of leaders within the outdoor sector.
To improve the outdoor sector for outdoor leaders
Hmm.
and the wider
Second thing I've put there, it says advancing trusted and valued Australian outdoor leader professionals.
Okay, hold on. I need to go back a step because at the end of the day, a vision is what we want. It's the end goal. What are we striving? What does the community look like when we're successful?
Valuing outdoor leaders, and engaging with outdoor leaders.
So how close are we with this by then? Outdoor leaders are seen as respectable as we could be here all night, guys.
Yeah.
So Laurie, I think it's on the screen already, like on the right there, on your chat,
Oh.
sorry.
All
It's about advancing trusted and valued outdoor leader professionals. As
So
trusted,
where-
and the wording isn't perfect, but the idea that the trusted bit means, it's, I think it's on that bit. The trusted bit means people talk to us, and the valued bit means we get paid well, we get looked after, all those
Can we
sorts of
not
things.
delete it? Can we just add it underneath until we look at it as a whole? Sorry.
Good.
Sorry,
Yes.
Dylan. I
Alright,
just jumped
that's
in
good,
here.
that's good.
No, that's great.
Preston.
And I don't think the positively shape the world bit underneath that, Laurie, should be deleted. It should just be the first bit. Yeah. Get rid of those 3 dot points. That's already the goal of Outdoors New South Wales. Our job is to say, inside of the goal of New South Wales, we think that outdoor leader professionals need to be valued and consulted or engaged or respected. Something
Let's have a
along those
think
lines.
about this one when we're not trying to go to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 9:01.
I know. Sorry, guys. All right. And how close are we with this one? We want to think on that one too.
Well, we look at all of that. But, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to leave this in the Google Drive. So again, as per usual, just go in and alter it as see fit. So the link I'll put I'll just copy the link and throw it into the notes when I send the notes through for everyone.
That'd be
Yep.
amazing.
And if we added bits there, I guess if we highlighted, like if I did it, I highlight mine in one color. If someone comes and adds something, highlight in their color. And then that way, at least we can see different contributions.
Yes, always suggest on Google
Yeah.
Drive.
Okay, we're going to do it that way. Yeah.
Yeah,
then
I
that
learned
way
that
we
lesson.
can-
Sorry.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
that way we can always say yes, no, as
Yeah.
opposed to going, oh, that changed. Yeah.
Yes, I just didn't want it saying changed and then like, is that it and who did that or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome. You guys are over it.
Awesome stuff. All right. Well, we're getting there. And while we're getting to this point, we're providing something that's going to be great when we get it out there. So well done.
Yeah.
Fabulous,
Awesome.
guys. All right, I'll do that. And then depending on how close we get to something final, I'd really like to ensure that we get this done before next month so we can get it all approved, done into graphic design and get it out definitely before the summit. But have a think about the summit and see if there's something that you want to do as a group. I have a session, a half an hour session there for you guys holding on to if you wanted to use that with any of the attendees.
Great.
3 things, Laurie. One, Beck, it was lovely to meet you for the first time, even though we haven't seen you. Could be an
I know,
AI bot for all I know. The second thing is Laurie, make sure you hear Lauren's comment about the gender thing and
Yes.
where that else her passion and interest might be picked up across the organization. And
Yeah.
On with that one.
thirdly,
Mm.
on this one that you've just said you're going to email through, I suggest that in order for us to meet that month deadline, put in something that says, I don't know, 7 days from now,
Yep.
you have to have your first round of comments, and then you send out a reminder that says 7 days from now is the second round of comments, and
Right.
then the time we actually meet is
Mm.
to ratify what's there rather than argue about what's there. Or it's possible we'll argue about two different ones, but with the aim
Yeah.
of
Mm.
having it done before the meeting rather than at the meeting.
Yeah, really good point.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good
I love
plan.
it.
And then you have more time to think about it too.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah,
it.
and like argue nastily in the background.
Exactly. Awesome. And
You know
anyone
what
that
I
doesn't show up on the recording, I'll make sure this is on the recording. Anyone that doesn't show up doesn't have a voice. No. No, all good. No.
I feel like I was just the voice for everyone who wasn't here tonight. So
You did a good job, Lauren.
thanks.
Awesome stuff. All right, gang. Well, we'll see you all or speak to you all very soon. Watch your
When
email.
will our next meeting be?
It is, as she looks at.
First Monday of the month or something.
Yeah, I think because we we cancelled and we moved and we had to try to.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason I didn't have my camera on tonight is because it changed so many times I forgot, and I'm in my pajamas.
That's okay. You're allowed to be in your PJs. 15th of May.
Yeah.
So we've got
Yeah.
a couple of weeks, which will be great.
Cool.
To get that done. Yeah, 7:30 on Monday the 15th.
Awesome.
All right. Well,
Great.
speak to you then.
See you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
See
Laurie.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.